What up, guys? This is Dr. Vic, and I'm excited that you're listening to the Mindful Chiropractor podcast. This week, we're going to discuss something I'm very passionate about. It's something that I work very hard on. It's something I've been crafting better and better and better. And I always think there's room for growth, and there's always things that you want to go deeper into. And one of those things is, right, we have, chiropractic, we have the day one, day two stuff, right? And it's all about, some people say we just get the day one, day two, everything takes care of itself, or, it helps with the conversions or XYZ and all these different programs, set of questions you should do and all this stuff, right? OPQ right? Who does that? And whatnot. But at the end of the day, what is your consultation? Right? I don't care about what people do. Because I was this way. I was like studying everyone's consultations. I was mastering it. I would have a list of questions. I would have it all written out. I would make sure I got through everything. Didn't miss the boat on that. And then I remember one day I was getting so frustrated because conversions weren't hitting as well as I like. And I always had high conversions. And I was like, why is this not working? And I literally said, F the friggin' consultation page. I literally don't do it anymore. I haven't done it in the last few years. What I do is I just take the intake form and I literally take my notes on there. Now, it sounds weird, but this is what I've came to understand. I rather be in the moment with the patient and listen to their body language, see their body language, pay attention to their tone of voice, and see what's important and not important. And it's my way of understanding too, are they really right for my office? Now, a lot of chiropractors sometimes hear that and go, what do you mean not right for your office? That's crazy. You have to understand there's an amount of energy of which you can give. And people are taking and not giving into your office. That will lower the numbers and the effects of your office. Everything is vibration. And I'll share this on the podcast in different formats to help you understand the depths of this stuff. But in your consult, you want to this is your filter system to see, are they worthy being in your office, right? Because as a chiropractor, as your business, you have to have a focus of what it is you're specific in, and then also know if you can help on other elements. Like if someone comes to my office and they literally just want to be on a pain and they don't want nothing else, and they're literally like, that's all I care about. I want to be adjusted and I'm done. I'd be like, I'm going to refer you to any other chiropractor around you can check out that could help you with that. That's not what I do here, right? And some people say, you turn away business? Yeah, I do, because that's not someone who fits my office. Now, there are some times where we may talk about that. And I'll talk to them and be like, see if they're interested in some other things. And there's ways I can use conversations and maybe the art of persuasion a little bit to kind of shift them from, hey, this is the pain. Now, I want to find out why this pain is motivating you to be here, right? And I'll talk about this in the consult because this is what the main topic is of this podcast, is when you're in a consult, the most important thing is to find their why. And their why is never, pay attention to what I'm about to say, it is never about the pain. I could tell you right now, never has been in my entire career. It has never been about the pain. And as I got better with this and I started to see past the pain, because before, sometimes you have someone in pain, you're like, I want to get them out of pain. And once I get them out of pain, I feel like I've done good for them. Well, that's also bullshit too, because you don't do shit for the patient except be a facilitator. Let's be real. Let's be really honest here. You as a chiropractor are a facilitator. You facilitate the healing process. You don't create the healing. A lot of times I hear chiropractors say, I treated a patient with this and I helped them with that and I got them to be this way. Now you help patients get to a certain degree. Of course you do. You're the facilitator. But to take responsibility for that is wrong. And I'm tired of hearing that because I have patients come up to me and say, oh, this chiropractor says that he helped this. He because of him, this patient doesn't suffer with this anymore. And I'd be like, that's partially true, but that's not 100% true. I'm like, most of the time it's you who are the one that's the healer. You're the one that actually does the work, right? Because all you're doing as a chiropractor is we make an adjustment and that's it. And once they get up, all of a sudden the changes in neurology, changes of information, there's corrective systems, corrective patterns happening. And all of a sudden there's new neuroplasticity starting to develop. Because of why? Because you made an adjustment and then all of a sudden they're reprogramming their brain. And when we reprogram the brain, we're creating neuroplasticity, new synapses are slowly starting to happen. And this is changing their function of the body, which is going to change their life. So when it comes to day one, you have to find what is the reason why they're there. It's always deeper than pain. If you're saying, no, doc, it's pain, that's what motivated. No, why they're here. The pain motivated them to get to in the office. But the reason why is because it affected something in their life. It's taking away something that they enjoy. Sometimes it's just a peace of mind. If someone says, no, it doesn't, my ADLs, right? Active daily, I don't even remember what that is. Active daily living. It doesn't affect any of that. Well, then it's an annoyance. Is it affecting your peace of mind? And I asked that, does it affect your peace of mind? Does it bother you that you have this annoying nuance on you all the time of bothering you? And what does that do? How does that affect you with your kids? How does it affect you with that? You have to sometimes be that detective to find the why. Now, why is this critically important? Well, I'll tell you right now, I have a 98, 99% conversion rate. Literally in the last month, I've converted all my new patients. In the last 3 months, I've only had one that didn't sign up. So what does that tell you? Now, am I getting hundreds, 100 new patients a month? No, I have a boutique type practice and I do that for my own reasons. But the other factor is I'm very good at finding the why. Very good at understanding why someone is in my office. I ask a lot of questions because I want to get down to that substance of why. Had a patient one time came in. He was very just like, I just have this hip issue. I just want this hip issue to go. I've been to many chiropractors before, and I love this when they've been to a chiropractor very often. Then they come into my office and I look and I go, whatever you were doing there wasn't working. We need to redo a whole revamp on your health. And that's always a hard conversation because it's like they spent all this time, money for 20 years being in a chiropractor's office. Then they come to mine and it's like they look like they haven't been getting work done. Nervous system is totally shot. Nothing is working out well because they weren't getting the prescribed amount of adjustments that they needed. And so then all of a sudden, we do this whole revamp, right? And I talked to him and I'm like, so you got this hip, you got the back. He goes, yeah, I just want to be out of this pain. And again, remember I said, if someone strictly just wants to be out of pain and they just want to be adjusted on that first day, I don't accept. But with him, he's been to a chiropractor a very long time. So that made me go, hold on, wait a minute. Let me have a conversation with him. And so I did. And then all of a sudden, as I dove deeper, I'm like, oh, okay, you're in pain. He was like, I'm just in pain. I just want to be out of pain and then just keep that lifestyle. And I said, okay, so I'm like, let me get this straight. All you care about is being out of pain. All right. He's like, yeah. Well, what does the pain interfere with your life to do? How does it interfere with things? He goes, well, it's very frustrating because if I'm sitting down and then I get up after working, I have to sit on a computer for a very long time. And then I get up, I can't stand how I just can't move. I feel old. Great, right? He just shared something that was important. And I said, so being old, feeling old, does that bother you? It makes you feel like you're getting older and you're losing your youth? Yes. I said, I can work off that, right? Because now I have he's getting deeper substance. You see, it's not just pain, there's something deeper. As we started discussing more, he likes to play golf once in a while. And all of a sudden he's like, it bothers me sometimes when I'm in pain or I'm sore or I'm stiff. I can't enjoy the game like I would like. And I said, listen, I know how that feels because I used to be a sprinter and I love sprinting. And so it's one of those things where if my muscles were stiff, I hated it. The one reason I loved sprinting, it was the only time I felt free. Now I'm being personal with him. I'm sharing something with him because when you're like a golf swing or in baseball, when I'm stiff, when I was swinging, I hated it. Why? Because I just didn't feel free. Like I can get more into the game. Does that resonate with you? And he's like, yeah, no, that's totally where I'm at. Guess what happened? He signed up. He signed up for care. He signed up for the recommendations I had, which he was going twice a month to a chiropractor. And I'm like, no, we need 3 times a week for a minimum of 8 weeks. And we may even go to 12 based on what I'm seeing. And he was like, I'm all in. Now, you have to connect with patients. This is the biggest thing. If you don't do this, day 2 and everything else is going to be hard. When it comes to finances, it's going to be hard. I always talk to my wife. She does my finances in the office. And I always look at her and I say, after the financial consult, I'm like, tell me, hard or easy? She goes, piece of cake. And I'm like, great. If there's ever a difficulty to it, I always go back and look at day 1 and see what I missed, because most of the time it's going to be that. It can be day 2, but most of the time it's day 1. So you have to connect with your patients. You have to pay attention to a few things. And there's books, if you want, you can email me. I'll recommend some books on body language, tone, because here's the things you want to look at. What's their body language? Start studying and learning body language, because those are the hidden cues. They're going to tell you how they're connecting and so much more. In my coaching clients, when I work with them, they're fascinated about how I can pick out things that they're like thinking about or where they're at or how this means more to them. And it's like, because I'm listening to them, right? I'm being in their energy space, right? Connect innate to innate. That's soul to soul connections. You want to be in their energy and their space. And the better you can master this, it doesn't matter what you say. This is why I don't get into the whole, what's the questions you have to say? How should you word things? What should you do here? I'm not saying that's not important. The importance is you being with the patient. Connect, be human with them. Act like you're talking to a friend and you want to find out what's wrong and get to the bottom of it. You do this, I promise you, conversions will go through the roof. It did for me, and it's been like that ever since for the last 4 to 5 years. And so I've been practicing. I've been crafting this even harder the last couple of years. And it's because I wanted to perfect this to the deep. Now, like I said, I walk into a consult. I take a quick skim of the intake form. I'm just trying to find any important details and stuff I need to look at, circle what I need to. And then when I'm in there, I'm flipping to it and I'm writing notes, but I'm making sure I'm covering all that. Now you may say, Doc, I'm insurance doc. I have to go through all this other stuff. So am I. So I have to do it too. But guess what? My intake form takes care of that for me. And if they don't have it in there, then I have to go and really quick and fill it out. Like say, hey, well, okay, pain levels from here. What makes it better? What makes it worse? What interferes the most, right? Sometimes if you're insurance, you got to do those things. But in other stuff, if you're a cash practice, you don't do any of that. You can just connect with the patients in that. But these are the principles. If I can share one thing that will drastically transform your practice, and this is how I help chiropractors double their profits. These are the littlest things we do because it's the beingness, right? It doesn't take much you can just go to consults. You're going to do them anyhow. You're going to have new patients coming in as it is. So it's just you practicing and really getting comfortable with that instead of having like a plan in the system. Because some people say you should have systems. You should be like this. And that's fine. But I think sometimes there's a balance between the two because it's a left brain, right brain thing. Left brain is systems, organizations, questions, lists, how you do things and so forth. I'm a very big left brain individual, but I'm also a very right brain where I want to connect with the patient, right? One of the things my patients always get amazed by, and if you're really connecting with patients, you'll do this too, where like as soon as they come into the room, like things would just kick to my head of what I remember. I'd be like, hey, how was your vacation over in so-and-so? Or hey, how was, if I'm talking with kiddos and teenagers, I want them to know that I'm interested in their life. And because maybe they don't have people that are that interested because they don't, I always talk to teenagers, how was your day today? Good. How's everything? Fine. How's this? Fine. Teenagers, right? I've been there. And so then I'm like, hey, I know you had this going on like 3 weeks ago. How did it go? What happened? I didn't follow up on you. I'm like, how do you remember these things? Well, I'm paying attention to you. I'm getting to know you. I mean, this is not just you coming to a chiropractor. This is a relationship we have here. And so it's connecting with them and having fun with them. And so try this out. I'm telling you, commit to it. It's the beingness side. Okay. Notice I didn't tell you what to do or all that stuff. We got to get out of that. Those are important to do. In my coaching program, we get all to the being and how to think and all that stuff first, because that's foundational things. Once you get solid there, it's a game changer for everything else. And if you like what you're hearing and you're like, man, this sounds great. This is cool stuff. I have some spots available to set up for some discovery calls. And what that is we set up on a call, potential coaching. And what we look at to see is I get to know more about you and where you're at and see if you're interested in coaching, if you're ready for that, we can see if this is a right fit to help with that. And the whole discovery call is free. It's 30 minutes. I'm literally just listening to what you have going on. And I'm going to give you at least an action plan, road, something to do. So it's not like you're just getting on a call and someone just sharing information. You get nothing out of it. I will give you something to walk away from there, regardless if you want to do coaching or not. But you have to be committed into being open and being willing to do this. I only want serious inquiries. I don't want people just coming on and want to do that. So if you're interested, click the link in the show notes, or if you see me on social media, just DM me discovery call, and I'll send you a link to get that set up so we can go ahead and get on a call together to really start to level up in life and in practice. Because one of the things I'm very good at doing is I help chiropractors double their profits while working less and also spending more time with family, which is the most valuable thing. But I do that in a way to teach you how to be inner self-realization and self-awareness. When we do that, then we become the creators of what we want. So if you want to double profits, you want to have the best marriage in the world, you want to be in the best shape of your life and have the best, sharpest mind in the world, and also, with aspects have the most abundance of money, you got to work on you. And that's the premise of what I've learned over my last 12 years. And now I'm sharing that. I've done this with entrepreneurs. I'm working with chiropractors too, to help in that process. So check out the link, DM me, discovery call. If you get on a call with me, 30 minutes, you're going to get something out of it regardless, and we can connect from there. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. And if you found this to be inspiration, if you're like, man, this was some good stuff, do me a favor then, share it, pay it forward, share it with someone that you know can benefit from this. And if this is your first time listening, this is our 5th podcast. So if you're first time listening, hey, please share us a review, throw a 5-star on iTunes or wherever you're listening at. It helps us get out there and helps us get some momentum going as we're trying to really drive this to level up in what we're doing here. So appreciate you guys as always. And until next time, keep rocking and rolling.